Ezreal picked up, very strong AD carry, high mobility. Main strength in his mobility is that his E is instant. Works effective, well, similarly to a flash, meaning he can dodge quite a few dashes and other skill shot gap closers and things of the sort. We've got a Shen pickup as well. Kind of a different pick, don't see it very often. Energy is quite a restriction, but he's still relatively high damage. Ultimate can be very, very effective, and Taunt is still very, very strong. A Moo pickup as well, very good for a team fight. With his ultimate, he can keep a team locked up for the rest of the team to come and clean up the fight. Relatively high damage output for a tank as well. In return, we've got the Wukong pickup and the Diana pickup. Wukong, very, very strong bruiser in a team fight, courtesy of his ultimate. AoE knock-up. He's got an armor shred on his Q, gap closer on his E, and his clone on W is quite effective for duking ganks, etc., and getting out of a bit of a tight spot. Diana, very strong bot laner. Can be used top as well, but bot lane she gets to apply quite a bit of pressure. Closes gaps, got a strong shield, quite a lot of damage and good wave clear. Sorry folks, chat bans were hidden a moment there. Just sorting things out here. First cast of the evening, sorry for any mistakes, I'm sure we'll get it sorted shortly. Chat bans are at the bottom there. Jack's casting Teemo Poppy. We do have Jarvan and Soraka looking set to be picked up on the opposing side. Jarvan, quite a strong bruiser, once again, armor shred on the Q, good initiator, pretty tanky, so quite durable, especially combined with a Soraka, actually. High durability, can lock someone down his ultimate, which isn't that effective against Ezreal, however, as he can blink out of it. We do have a swap to Vayne quite soon afterwards. Oh, Kayle, trolling us at the minute, we don't know what we're going to get. And we do have the Kayle. High damage scaling into late game. Ultimate's got quite a lot of utility going on there. Keeps someone alive, squishy or not. Adds an extra 2 seconds of damage or ability to escape. She's got extra movement speed on the heel, granting that extra little bit of mobility, which we all know is pretty key. Pretty key indeed. In return, we do have Leona locked in on the opposing side. Not something you see very often in NA, it seems. Quite often picked in EU West though. Very durable tank, quite a lot of CC, and can keep a target locked up for a very long time. Her ultimate also has quite a high range, and if it doesn't stun, also has a very high % slow on it as well. I don't know if we'll see the Veigar pick, we're just going to have to see. Seems we do have Malzahar, which would suggest it'd probably be an AD Malzahar bot, though we can't say for certain. Could be a Diana top, as they are lacking an AP top at the minute. Although it could always be an AP Malzahar. You never know, you never know. We do have the Swain picked up on the opposing side. Very, very, very strong AP bruiser, effectively. Lots of sustain from his ultimate. Good ability to kite bruisers and other things of the sort, and has enough burst to take those squishes out quite quickly.
Alright, so one thing that I'm noticing here from that's significantly different from last time is last time I casted this, I saw Pantheon was actually a top pick of the entire game, or every game I casted, and I don't think I saw him banned in the chat bans. So, I mean, what's going on with that? Why are we not seeing Pantheon?
Well, it's been left open, and he is very, very strong. He's got a very, very strong early game. His early game's exceptional, actually. Good gap closing and the like, but his late game does fall off. His damage isn't enough to take out the carries or the squishes quickly enough. The extra mobility on his ultimate is good for ganks and the sort, but the cooldown is quite high, meaning he does get punished after using it by ganks elsewhere.
Alright, well, I definitely think that, just taking a look at these team comps here, we've got a very, very heavy bruiser team here for the guys on the left side, which actually, to sort out these names, we've got Tallgrass and Messy Gaming. Which is which here?
I do believe Tallgrass are on the left and Messy Gaming are on the right.
Yeah, so for Tallgrass, they've got a extremely bruisey team over here with that Leona and Diana, which, I mean, she's extremely bursty as an AP character, but she's definitely one of the stronger bruisers in the game as well, which is, a lot of people aren't seeming to realize that, but definitely very strong there.
We have had a few mentions in chat that you may be a bit quiet. Is there any way of possibly tweaking up Skype, or I could turn myself down, whichever works best?
I'm going to look into that really quickly. You go ahead.
Okie dokie, we've got 2 minutes until the game commences. Let's check out the room pages. I'm kind of expecting AD Malzahar bot and a Diana top at the minute. Room-wise, it is definitely suggesting that. For any that don't know, AD Malzahar works very well because his Voidlings do scale from offensive attack damage now in pen stats. That he can get 2 Voidlings up at the same time. I think you can get more than that with max CDR, spam your spells. In a pool with 2 Voidlings damaging them, with a speed boost from the passive, well, from an extra little bit of time going on. It's a lot of damage going on. And it's quite hybrid as well when you factor in the pool and the high base damage on Malzahar spells. It's quite horrible to go against. Oh, my apologies. The summoner blockers will come off now. As I did say, first stream of the night. There we are. Some of the blockers are off. You can see a cleanse on Yorion and Ezreal just to get out of the Amumu ults or the Shen CCs or any of the other CC available. Does seem quite essential here. There's a lot of CC going on the other side, and I'm not quite sure Leona can peel all of it. That'll be quite interesting to see, but do they have enough damage to follow up on it, and what will be their bot lane? I'm kind of curious about. They could send Kayle bot, but then they're lacking range top, really. They could send Jarvan bot, potentially. I think Jarvan bot would probably make sense. We do have 3 garrisons on the right-hand side on Messy Gaming at the minute. So I would expect 2 of those to be top, 1 bot, which would suggest either Kayle or Jarvan are bot lane. Although against AD Malzahar, I don't really like the odds for either of them particularly much. Any queries of any form, feel free to ask them in the Twitch chat or in the Dominate Dominion chat room, although I will be on the Twitch chat at the minute. And the game is about to start. Let's see which side's got the skin advantage, see how it's going.
And we are missing actually 2. I want to just double check my mic is working here pretty decent. So anybody in chat, if you can let me know if my mic's good enough. But there's two revives missing from the Messy Gaming side of things. Do you think that's a good choice there with the Garrison over top of Revive and the Flash Ghost as well?
Now, the problem is, Revive is very, very strong. Ghost and Flash in particular, there aren't that many walls that you can flash over, and a lot of walls that do get flashed over, someone can chase you through them. The not taking Revive is questionable, as it will put them behind in the first fight as soon as all Revives are used. They could be going for a stronger team fight once the Revive is over, but as soon as it's back up again, I'd expect 5 Revives will take the advantage. Amumu may want the Flash to try and land a good ultimate, but with a good bandage toss, he should be able to position himself quite well anyway. We'll just have to see how it plays out, I guess. With Ghost Garrison, however, I wouldn't really expect Kayle to be bot lane. If she does die to a gank, her lane is in a bit of a pickle. She's a little bit stuck. And just loading at the minute, just checking out volume, see if I can sort a few things out.
Alright, I'm going to try to just maybe speak a bit louder, closer to my mic. I mean, if I had to analyze this, and I could be wrong here, but I definitely think that on Messy Gaming side of things, with the lack of revives there, that they're expecting to win team fights. Like, they have a significantly better team fight capability here with Shen and Kayle to basically save one person. And if you're looking at, you got Leona, Ezreal, Diana, like, their whole team basically is all single target nukes. And whereas Messy Gaming here, they're pretty much all AoE. They're looking to win those giant fights. So I think that they're okay to carry less revives on their team. That's my assumption anyways, what their mindset was going into this one. I know how brutal or how essential the revive is.
Indeed. They could be aiming for the team fights, but the flaw with that is Amumu's ult and Shen's ult and Kayle's ult, they all have rather hefty cooldowns, especially early in the game. And if they don't have the damage to follow it up later, they could be in quite a bit of trouble. So I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to see if they do get these perfectly synchronized ults off or not, really, I guess. That's a lot of Garrison, though, so I'd expect to see quite a bit of tower diving going on here.
I definitely agree with that. Alright, so we are up. And actually, I didn't even pay attention to who won the skin war. I don't know if that's the biggest deal here, but
we have.
So yeah, it looks like who do you think is going to be this bottom lane here? Because I know that's also another question that's probably on a lot of people's minds.
Well, I'd assume it'd be the AD Malzahar, and I'm guessing it may be Jarvan bot lane. Although at the minute Amumu looks set to go down there, but I think Kale would probably struggle at the minute as she is lacking a revive. So if she is ganked or dies in the lane, her lane is under a lot of trouble. She doesn't have the ability to fight against somebody who's coming back with the revive buff, meaning they can get quite a heavy push advantage going on and can take more risks as well. It does look like Kale will be going bot lane. We do have 3 Hearts of Gold coming out on Messi Gaming at the minute. Hearts of Gold, not as a particularly often bought item on Dominion, short of building it into Randuin's Omen. With the shorter games and the importance of your item slots, you generally don't get that much time to keep the Heart of Gold around. I mean, it doesn't gain that much value, but we'll have to see how it works out for them. We have a Kindle Gem coming out on Leona. That could be going into a, well, I'd assume it would be going into a Shrelia's Reverie. You don't see quite as much of that on NA, but it's a very, very strong item and does allow her to catch or escape or provide that utility a moveset doesn't really provide. And to land a few good stun combos. Oh.
Alright, so we are underway here, and it looks like you were right on the Malzahar call, but Jarvan actually heading top lane right now. He is going to stop and pick up the drill over here on the right side. But they will meet up here in the middle, like always, and we're going to see who's going to come ahead on this one. Swain does land his W here, and Wukong is going to jump across there after getting vantage tossed by the Amumu, and it looks like Shen might be the first one to go down here, and he certainly will. Great focus fire, and you know, like I mentioned, that's a lot of single target nuke going on there. Amumu almost going down here as well. Swain trying to get some damage off, but it's not going to happen, as 4 characters top lane will smash down here and take out that windmill pretty early on in this match, as Swain and Amumu, both pretty low here, still trying to do some damage to this Diana.
We may notice as well that Ghost and Revive have both been used by Shen. He was putting quite a lot of bets onto getting back in time to stop the cap on top, but as it stands they haven't picked up any real kills in response. It's 2 summoners down and they didn't really get much out of it. It puts them a little bit behind in the long run, but bot lane, it seems that Malzahar has been taken out very, very early. He has used his revive already, meaning if he does get ganked, it's in quite a bit of trouble. Kale has used Ghost already, but it does have a considerably shorter cooldown than Revive. One problem with that, though, is it doesn't grant the extra health for the next following fights that Revive grants. And we do see Swain, Jarvan, and Amumu they're all pushing up to the lane now. I was expecting them to possibly try and bushwhack someone, wait for a gank, but they are all going straight for a cap, and Leona is stuck defending on her own, but does manage to get a triple Zenith Blade off there. We do have a good Shen Talk, managing to interrupt Wukong on his charge on the way to Amumu, but combined damage between Ezreal and Diana is more than enough to shred Shen. And Wukong and Leona are chasing down Swain and Amumu pretty well, though. Leona is taken down pretty low. She is taken out by Swain there. Swain does also land quite a good snare on the Diana, but more than enough health, including a shield, to take that without too much hassle. Malzahar has pressured onto bot lane as well, granting a kill in return, and this is where not having revive can make you suffer. It does mean that a teammate will have to cover your lane whilst you're waiting to respawn, which will be an extra 13 seconds, and with that creep wave coming, I'd expect at least to neutralise. We do see Wukong was delaying Jarvan around mid and has went for the clone bait there. Keeps doing it, managed to get away with it for the final time there. We do have Shen landing a good taunt there, but Wukong ult manages to knock the 3 of them up. The owner ultimate does lock them all in place, meaning Wukong just manages to get out of the conflict, and a Shen ult does mean Swain's not going to be taken down. But Shen is taken out in return by Diana and Ezreal both jumping in. We do have Jarvan taken out as well, trying to lock down Diana, but didn't quite do enough. We do have a 4 cap bottom after that non-revive. That was 13 seconds of free capping with a rather large creep wave. And it does look like this may be a rather fast game with a 5 cap at this rate. Swain going in, trying to get the interrupt, but what do you feel went wrong here then, Frank?
I definitely think it was just the early team fights, like that level 1, or sorry, the level 4, I guess you could call it, up at top lane, really did not go in the favor of Messi Gaming here, and they needed it to, considering their lack of revives. More engaging going on over here down below the drill, as Swain's going to get picked off here, and so is Amumu. And one thing to note is after that team fight top, basically it was up to Messi Gaming. If they didn't come out ahead on that one, they were going to come out way, way behind. As you can see here, they're 5 capped, going down to 4 cap now, but there's still 3 revives online for Team Tallgrass, so they're definitely going to be way ahead on this one. And, you know, like I said, it's really all about that early fight that went wrong for them. And you can see here Wukong going for more of that bait, but I don't think he's going to get away from this one.
We do have Malzahar coming in to support, but I don't reckon there's much chance of him getting there on time. This may give Team Messi Gaming a chance to regain their mid-turret there. I'm not very good with remembering the names. My apologies, folks. And we do have a Moo going out, trying to zone the Diana, make sure no one's going to interrupt the cap. They do still have 260 seconds of time there, if it was a 3-2 cap, to try and change it and recap the top turret. And whilst Diana is alone, this would be a good time to go for the cap. But a Moo has been left alone and is diving Diana just alone there. His ultimate and Garrison aren't going to save him, however, as Diana's damage is far superior to her own. She is being careful just for ganks, but it seems that a bushwhack in mid did fail. Swain has been taken out by a combined Wukong and Leona, and Malzahar and Ezreal have taken out Kayle bot lane as well. Shen was also picked up. Amumu is now split between a Wukong, and no, Leona's chasing the Jarvan. Not quite split anymore, but Wukong does look set to pick up the Amumu. Zenith Blade not quite landing, but Amumu is taken out anyway.
Yeah, and she actually, Leona turned that into a Zeke's Herald, which is going to work really well for her pairing up with the Ezreal and Wukong. But she really needs to stay grouped up. As you can see here, she is kind of taunting the enemy team out, but she's not really getting much done. She definitely needs to stick around with her team, as the objective was taken down there as well. As you can see, that buff is on the entire team here for Tallgrass. Swain's going to miss that binding, and that's going to be a death for him as well. As getting chased around is this Leona. She's going to get reinforced, though, by Ezreal and Wukong. Like I mentioned, she needs to be grouped up with these guys, and that's exactly what she's doing at this point in the game. But it's looking like things are very, very desperate here for Team, I forget their name, but for
Messi Gaming.
Yeah, they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna go down pretty quickly in this one, as 473 to 150 the scoreboard right now, and it's really not looking like it's going much better, as yet another point is gonna get capped, as well as Jarvan going down here.
I'm gonna have to agree here. It doesn't look like there's going to be much chance for comeback, although Shen does manage to land his ultimate onto Swain and does wait and save his time there, bide his time, just to make sure he lands a taunt onto Diana, and she is taken out in swift fashion afterwards. Swain is trying to pressure top with the creep wave, but there is a Wukong there to defend. He does manage to dodge the snare there with his... not very good with names. It's too late at night. Nimbus Strike, that'll be the one. We do have Leona, Ezreal and Diana all coming up to reinforce Wukong at the top point, and there isn't very long left on the clock before Messi Gaming are out if they don't get a good fight in soon. Leona is there to cover Nato-san, and he does stand still, baiting into thinking it's a clone. His armor shred does go up, meaning that Ezreal does get quite a bit of extra damage, and Amumu is taken out afterwards. His flash is used, but there's no chance of escape there, and Leona does manage to follow up on Jarvan, but he does jump the wall to escape. Also, on the note of Zeke's earlier, oddly enough, it's quite useful for all of them top, as even Diana benefits from it, courtesy of the extra attack speed, meaning more procs on a passive.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I would even say, because it's an 88 Malzahar, that's literally everyone on the team is going to benefit from that item. But, I mean, the benefit from it is not going to last very long, as we can see here Leona jumping out there with that sword toss, getting in here, popping her W, and Jarvan's still not going down, though. Still jumping in there, trying to get some more damage off, picking up that Jarvan, but it's not going to happen due to the Kayle ult. There's the Amumu ultimate coming in here, and are they finally going to be able to defend their own points? Unfortunately, while the drill is being defended here, down at the bottom right, the Boneyard will get taken, so that's going to be 4 cap yet again, and I really can't imagine any comebacks here. I think where it did all go wrong, though, was that early team fight. Everything just spiraled out of control for them, and I don't even think that they've picked up the altar in the middle there, and that's really, really... I mean, that's definitely not the thing that set them behind that far, but it's really setting them behind even more so, as Wukong now running around with that. Going to be a huge buff for him, and he's not going to go down anytime soon.
We did have Malzahar nearly picking up a double kill, but he did manage to land his Q, so after he died, the silence still went off and interrupted Shen's cap, meaning he did take an extra turret hit, and this neutralising cap won't be enough for Messi Gaming. It does look like it will be. Big Tall Grass going into the round of 8. They have won that game. It was a rather one-sided game, although we did see a lack of revive, which was questioned before the game, and it did seem that, well, it didn't pay off. Lacking revive there. The flash didn't really pay dividends, as he may have hoped.